What's going on, my PT peeps and my Walking Dead family? Welcome to the PT channel. I'm One Eye Bri, back to talk about The Walking Dead Season 9. And there's a sneak peek on AMC's YouTube channel, and it's only 1 minute long, but it's very interesting what is seen in the clip. Obviously, spoiler warning as we're going to break it down, and we're going to show you how it connects to what may happen in Season 9, Episode 1, and the rest of the season. So obviously, spoiler warning. If you're worried about spoilers, stop watching now. I don't want to ruin anything for you, but for those who want to know and talk about it and discuss it, keep watching. And for those who aren't a member of our Walking Dead family here at the PT channel, and we would love to have you be a member of our Walking Dead family by hitting that subscribe button. Photo credit and info credit, obviously, to the folks right here, as we're giving credit where credit is due. Now, the sneak peek starts at the sanctuary. You can hear people whispering, "Oh, that's Rick Grimes." Rick Grimes, Carol, Ezekiel, and a couple other people are walking into the sanctuary. And the people at the sanctuary, most likely the workers, are excited that Rick is there. Almost like he's famous. He's famous Rick Grimes. Rick is going to be the person who ended the war. Rick walks past this gentleman right here, and he's like, "Ah, it's Rick. He ended the war." Is Negan suffering? I hope he is. It's pretty interesting that this guy hates Negan, and I'm sure a lot of the workers do. But Negan still has his supporters, especially because the sanctuary is suffering. The crops are dying. They're not doing as well as they were before the war, obviously. But Rick comes in like Mr. Famous Rick Grimes. You can see Ezekiel, Jerry, Carol, Michonne's there as well. You'll see Daryl and Eugene in the clip also. But Rick's coming into the sanctuary like he doesn't like all the attention and the fame on him. Rick Grimes is just trying to keep his family safe, and he's trying to honor Carl because Carl wanted everyone to live happily ever after, which is pretty crappy as Carl should be alive, but that's a whole other video. You can see the workers are happy that Rick's there. That lady is really smiling, by the way. She's happy to see Rick. Maybe she's just happy to be on camera as an extra. But either way, the sanctuary is struggling. Daryl is running the sanctuary. You'll see Eugene come over to Daryl and say everything was all right. They were giving me some serious stink eye, but nothing got out of hand. And Eugene is telling Daryl, because Daryl is the leader of the sanctuary, which to me is pretty crazy. And that confirms to me that Daryl is definitely taking the place of Comic Dwight, because Dwight took over the sanctuary after the war, and he struggled with it. And Daryl's struggling as well. Lara comes over to Daryl and says that she found some supplies and it's a pretty good haul and that he should make an announcement because that's what Negan used to do, basically. And I'm not sure if Lara is being the goody-goody suck-up or she likes Daryl or she's just trying to do her job. We'll see what happens with Lara. We'll see if they get together or not because in the comics, Lara ends up with Dwight. Daryl takes offense to what Lara says that he should make a speech, and Daryl's like, "I'm not making a speech. I'm not doing that. Negan used to do that. I'm not Negan," basically. Daryl feels bad a little bit after yelling at Lara. He says, "Look, we just lost somebody. But who did they lose? Everybody of significance is there. Daryl, Carol, Ezekiel, Jerry, Michonne. Anyone important? We'll get to that in a second. But Daryl running the sanctuary to me is going to be short-lived. The word is that Carol takes over, probably in this episode, maybe starting in episode 2 and beyond. But Carol takes over and Daryl doesn't want to run it anymore. He wants to go back to the hilltop. I believe one of these two characters dies, and the word is that it's a character named Ken. We're not sure 100% if Ken is in the blue shirt and the guy with the long hair and the flannel shirt is Marco, but I think it is. I think Ken in the blue shirt dies on the run at the museum. Ken is the son of Earl and Tammy, two people who live at the hilltop. There they are right there. You see Daryl, Tammy, Earl, and Maggie. And this is going to be interesting because Earl was tricked by Gregory to kill Maggie because Earl blames Maggie about Ken's death. Ken is the young boy who dies on the run to the museum. Earl, I'm not sure if he dies or gets in trouble, but he's a blacksmith that basically gets tricked by Gregory to attack Maggie. He didn't want to do it on his own, but Gregory being Gregory wants to kill Maggie because Maggie is running the hilltop now. We'll see at the beginning of the episode that Maggie runs the hilltop. Gregory doesn't like that, obviously, because Gregory is a coward. He thinks he could run it better than Maggie or Margaret or whatever he would call her, but Gregory's going to die because of this situation. Gregory is hanged, like in the comic, and goodbye, Gregory. So Ken is the person that Daryl was talking about being killed on the run earlier. Well, the person that they lost. So Ken dies. Tammy and Earl are upset, obviously. Gregory tricks Earl to kill Maggie. It doesn't work. Maggie survives. Enid survives but is injured. Ken dies, and that's who the person Daryl is talking about. no one of major significance, but it does play a big factor in the episode and the season. Michonne's okay, Daryl's okay, main people are okay. I know a lot of people are wondering, who died, who was it, who did they lose? And I believe it's the character Ken is who Daryl is talking about, but that sets some major things in motion here at the hilltop, and this is how I believe the episode will end, is what the word is, with Gregory being hanged. But to continue on with the clip, you see Michonne look at a wall, and she sees the message on the wall, Saviors, save us, and we are still Negan underneath, like we saw in the trailer. And Michonne gets concerned because if there's an uprising, if the Saviors kind of want to build up again and go against Rick and Michonne and everybody, there'll be another war. And Michonne's smart. She wants to cut that down. And Michonne's like, does this happen all the time? And Daryl replies, it's been happening more since the crops have been dying. And the bottles behind Michonne are pretty interesting. And to me, it looks like they're making their own alcohol from the corn, from the ethanol, the ETOH that we saw in the barrels in another clip. But the fact that the Saviors are blatantly putting this on the walls shows discourse, shows problems still. There's going to be followers of Rick and followers of Negan still. And I wonder if Negan will ever come to power again. In the comics, it doesn't really happen. It could, but it doesn't. Will it happen on the show? Are we going to get a major remix of that? Or Negan rise to power again? And we always see remixes and differences of the comic storyline and the show storyline. Daryl looks to be replacing comic Dwight. We haven't seen Dwight filming at all. We haven't had any wording that he's on set. He could be a whisperer, he could not. I think he is a whisperer, but we'll see some discourse this season with the Saviors and Rick and Daryl and Justin and how it all goes down. I'm excited, guys. We're getting there. We're days away from the return of The Walking Dead on television. The Sanctuary is a good storyline to see what happens this season after the war. I think the Whisperers can turn the show around. There's no word of them in this clip at all. But the Sanctuary, the Saviors, Rick, it's going to be an interesting storyline because Daryl sees the Saviors as a threat. Rick wants to rebuild civilization and he needs the help of everybody. He wants everybody working together. The living versus the dead. And I agree with that, but the Saviors are dangerous. The Saviors don't really bring anything to the table. The Hilltop does the farming, and I wonder if the Kingdom's still around. Alexandria can bring stuff to the table too, because they have crops. But what do these workers, what do the Saviors bring to the table? I'm not sure what their skills are. Hopefully they have some skills and they can bring stuff to rebuild civilization in a positive way. There has to be some people, like Alden was pretty cool, and I think Al will be part of the Hilltop, as he doesn't want any part of the Saviors, but he doesn't want them to die as well. Rick being famous Rick Grimes is pretty much spot on. The people who watch the show think Rick is the show. Without Rick, how can the show go on? The Rick Grimes story is the Walking Dead story. And if Rick dies, that's going to kill the show in a lot of people's eyes. I don't think it's going to kill it. It'll definitely hurt it. But Eugene, look at those guns. Look at Ponytail. Mr. Ponytail, he's been working out. He's been lifting at the Sanctuary. And I said it before, and I'll say it again. I'm super excited for The Walking Dead Season 9. Today is Tuesday, October 2nd as I make this video. The Walking Dead will be here in 5 days. They got a marathon going on AMC. We need more Jerry, right? Jerry should be a big part of this season and the series going forward, and I hope he is. I love the comic relief. I love the idea of characters bringing different mindsets and basically a different flavor to the show. Jerry has been an awesome addition. He's not in the comic at all. He's just for the show, and I think he's been a great addition. What do you think about Michonne and Daryl being co-leads of the show after Rick leaves? I think it's possible, but I said it before, I think the council approach is the best way. Kind of disperse certain storylines, disperse what happens from the comic, because the comic is still going to be a big part of the show. They just do little remixes and little twists and turns. What do you think happens with Laura? Laura's with Dwight in the comic, like I said. What do you think happens to her? Does she live? Does she survive? Does she get killed off? Does she end up with Daryl? Will Daryl ever get a love interest? And could it be Laura? Would you want to see that? Would you not? Definitely let me know your thoughts, guys. I always want to know your opinions and your thoughts. I have no problem if they're different than mine. I know some people think that I have a problem with differences on this channel. Obviously, I don't. If I have your comments still being there. If I did, I would just block you. I don't. I love the idea of having a discussion and a community feel of the show and different topics. Just be considerate and respectful. not rude and disrespectful, obviously. So there you go. That's my breakdown of the sneak peek, what we may see this season, what may happen in season 9, episode 1. Let me know your thoughts, like I said before. And we're getting closer and closer, guys. Season 9, episode 1 will be here before you know it. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button, like, share, subscribe, and comment. I want to know if you're new to the channel. Definitely let me know. And remember, guys, with hard work, dedication, belief, and sacrifice, you can truly achieve your goals. Believe in yourself. You can do it.